Listen to me closely. You have been taught a lie. You have been told that victory is something you must chase. Something distant. Something reserved for the lucky, the talented, the privileged few who were born under a better star than yours. You have been taught to hope for success. To wish for it. To pray that circumstances will align in your favor. To wait for the right moment, the right opportunity, the right conditions before you dare to claim what you want from this life. And because of this lie, you have trained yourself to act like a beggar at the table of life. You knock timidly. You ask permission. You apologize for wanting more. You shrink yourself to fit into the small expectations others have placed upon you. You celebrate the smallest victories as if they were miracles, because deep down, you believe that success is foreign to your nature. But I am here to tell you something that will change everything if you have the courage to accept it. Victory is not foreign to you. It is not something you must beg for or stumble upon by accident. Victory is your natural state. Read that again. Let it penetrate the walls you have built around your mind. Victory is your natural state. You were not created to struggle endlessly without reward. You were not designed to live in perpetual defeat, watching others claim the prizes while you stand on the sidelines wondering what they possess that you lack. You were built for triumph. For achievement. For the claiming of goals and the manifestation of desires. This is not motivational fantasy. This is biological, psychological, and spiritual truth. But here is where most people fail. They wait to feel victorious before they act victorious. They believe they must first achieve success before they can carry themselves with the confidence of a winner. This is backwards thinking. And it guarantees mediocrity. The truth is this: you must act like victory is your natural state before victory becomes your lived reality. You must walk, talk, think, and decide as someone for whom success is normal. Expected. Inevitable. Not someday. Not after you achieve something. Not when conditions are perfect. Right now. Today. This very hour. Most people do not fail because they lack talent or opportunity. They fail because they carry themselves like failure is their identity. They think like victims. They speak like defeated souls. They make decisions from a place of scarcity and fear. And the universe, which is nothing more than a mirror of your dominant mental state, reflects back to you exactly what you project. If you project defeat, you will live in defeat. If you project uncertainty, you will drown in confusion. If you project the belief that success is for others but not for you, then you will watch from the outside while others feast at the table you were meant to sit at. This is your wake-up call. This is the moment you stop living reactively and start living as the architect of your own experience. Before we go further, take one action right now. Subscribe to this channel if you are serious about transformation. Leave a comment telling me where you are watching from. Not for me. For you. Because commitment begins with small actions that declare to your subconscious mind, I am someone who follows through. Do it now. Now, let us establish the central principle that will govern everything that follows. There exists a law. Not a theory. Not a suggestion. A law as reliable as gravity. This law states, your external results are always a perfect reflection of your internal state. You cannot separate who you are on the inside from what manifests on the outside. The two are bound together with chains that cannot be broken by wishful thinking or temporary effort. If your internal state is one of doubt, hesitation, and fear, your external reality will present situations that confirm those feelings. You will attract circumstances that require you to doubt yourself further. You will find yourself in positions where hesitation costs you opportunities. You will encounter people and events that trigger your fears. This is not punishment. This is law. Conversely, if your internal state is one of certainty, decisiveness, and confident expectation, your external reality will shift to match. Doors will open. People will respond to you differently. Opportunities will present themselves with strange frequency. Why? Because you are not the same person. You do not carry yourself the same way. You do not speak the same language. You do not make decisions from the same mental place. And the world responds not to your wishes but to your state. Now, understand this clearly. When I say, act like victory is your natural state, I am not telling you to pretend. Pretending is hollow. Pretending is performance. Pretending is exhausting because you know you are wearing a mask, and masks always slip eventually. What I am instructing you to do is far more profound. I am instructing you to recognize a truth that already exists within you, then align your behavior with that truth until it becomes your automatic reality. The truth is this: you were designed for success. Look at your body. It is a miracle of engineering. Trillions of cells cooperating in perfect harmony to keep you alive, without any conscious effort from you. Your heart beats. Your lungs breathe. Your immune system fights battles you never see. Your brain processes information at speeds that surpass the most advanced computers. You are not a mistake. You are not an accident. You are not inadequate. You are the product of millions of years of evolutionary refinement. You are the descendant of survivors, warriors, builders, and innovators. Every ancestor in your line succeeded at the most fundamental task: they lived long enough to pass on their DNA to the next generation. This means that survival, adaptation, and triumph are encoded in your very cells. But somewhere along the way, you were taught to forget this. You were taught to compare yourself to others and find yourself lacking. You were taught that success is rare and difficult and reserved for special people. You were taught to ask for permission instead of taking initiative. You were taught that failure is evidence of unworthiness rather than feedback for adjustment. And so you began to carry yourself like someone who expects defeat. You walk into rooms with your shoulders slightly slumped. You speak with qualifiers and apologies. You second-guess your decisions. You look to others for validation before you act. You celebrate small wins as if they are surprising anomalies rather than natural outcomes of your capabilities. This is not humility. This is self-betrayal. Humility is recognizing that you are part of something larger than yourself. Self-betrayal is refusing to claim the power that is rightfully yours. From this moment forward, you must understand, acting like victory is your natural state is not arrogance. It is alignment. Arrogance is claiming superiority without foundation. Arrogance is demanding results without doing the work. Arrogance is believing you are entitled to success simply because you exist. That is not what I am teaching you. What I am teaching you is this: when you align your mental state, your emotional state, your language, and your daily actions with the identity of someone for whom success is normal, you activate forces within you and around you that were dormant before. Your brain begins to notice opportunities it previously filtered out. Your nervous system begins to handle pressure with greater calm. Your decision-making becomes sharper because you are no longer paralyzed by the fear of failure. Other people respond to you with more respect and cooperation because they sense something different in your energy. This is not magic. This is psychology. This is neuroscience. This is the natural consequence of shifting your identity. Let me ask you a question. When you think of someone who has achieved what you want to achieve, how do you imagine they carry themselves? Do you imagine them waking up each day wondering if they are good enough? Do you imagine them apologizing for their ambitions? Do you imagine them seeking permission from people who have achieved less than they have? No. You imagine them moving through the world with clarity. With purpose. With the quiet certainty that their goals are reachable because they have already decided they will reach them. They do not hope they will succeed. They expect it. They plan for it. They organize their entire lives around the assumption that success is the inevitable outcome of their consistent effort. This is not because they are more talented than you. It is because they think differently than you. They have trained themselves to operate from a different set of assumptions. And here is the part that will change your life if you grasp it fully. Those assumptions are not gifts given to a lucky few. Those assumptions are choices. Choices that anyone, including you, can make starting today. You can choose to believe that victory is your natural state. You can choose to act in accordance with that belief. You can choose to speak, move, decide, and plan as someone for whom success is normal. And when you make that choice, when you commit to it with absolute consistency, reality will bend to match your new identity. This is not wishful thinking. This is how the human mind works. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It responds to the dominant patterns you feed it. If you feed it patterns of defeat, it will create behaviors that lead to defeat. If you feed it patterns of victory, it will create behaviors that lead to victory. But you cannot feed it patterns of victory while acting like defeat is your destiny. You cannot think like a champion while carrying yourself like a victim. You cannot speak words of doubt and expect to build a life of certainty. There must be alignment. There must be congruence. Your thoughts, your words, your actions, and your identity must all point in the same direction. When they do, you become unstoppable. Not because you are perfect. Not because you will never face obstacles. But because your default response to challenges shifts from, "I don't know if I can do this," to, "I will find a way." That shift, that single shift in your baseline expectation, is the difference between a life of frustration and a life of achievement. So let me say it again, because repetition is the mother of learning, victory is your natural state. Not because life owes you anything. Not because success comes easily. But because you are equipped, by design, to overcome obstacles, learn from failure, and persist until you achieve your aims. The only question is whether you will claim this truth and act accordingly, or whether you will continue to live beneath your potential, waiting for someone else to give you permission to rise. No one is coming to give you permission. No one is coming to validate your worthiness. No one is coming to tell you that you are ready. You must decide. You must declare. You must act. And when you do, when you step fully into the identity of someone for whom victory is natural, normal, and expected, you will look back at this moment and recognize it as the turning point. The moment you stopped being a passenger in your own life and became the driver. The moment you stopped asking, "Can I?" and started declaring, "I will." The moment you stopped waiting for victory to find you and started living as if it had already claimed you as its own. This is the big idea. This is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Your results are not random. They are not the product of luck or circumstance. They are the direct, measurable, inevitable consequence of your dominant mental and emotional state. Change your state, and you change your results. It is law. And the first step in changing your state is acting like the person you are determined to become. Not someday. Not when you feel ready. Now. Now we must go deeper. We must confront the patterns that have kept you locked in mediocrity. Because here is the uncomfortable truth, you already know most of what I am telling you. You have heard versions of this message before. You have read books. You have watched videos. You have felt inspired, motivated, ready to change. And yet, here you are, still struggling with the same issues. Still carrying yourself with uncertainty. Still sabotaging your own progress with thoughts, words, and actions that contradict the life you claim you want. Why? Why do intelligent people continue to act in ways that guarantee failure? Why do capable people shrink from challenges they could overcome? Why do ambitious people sabotage themselves just as they approach their goals? The answer is simple but difficult to accept, because some part of you believes that defeat is safer than victory. Read that again. Some part of you, hidden beneath your conscious awareness, believes that staying small is safer than rising. This is not your fault. This is conditioning. This is the accumulation of years of experiences, messages, and beliefs that have formed a protective shell around your potential. As a child, perhaps you were punished for being too confident. Perhaps you were mocked for your ambitions. Perhaps you learned that standing out brought criticism, so you trained yourself to blend in. As a teenager, perhaps you tried and failed at something important. Perhaps the pain of that failure was so intense that your mind made a decision: never risk that kind of pain again. Stay safe. Stay hidden. Stay small. As an adult, perhaps you have looked around at others who have achieved what you want and told yourself a comfortable lie: they are different. They have advantages I don't have. They were lucky. They were born into better circumstances. It is not fair to compare myself to them. And these beliefs, these protective lies, have formed a prison around your potential. You do not act like victory is your natural state because, deep down, you do not believe you deserve victory. You do not believe you are the kind of person who gets to live the life you dream about. You do not believe that success is for you. And so you engage in subtle forms of self-sabotage that keep you exactly where you are. Let me show you what this looks like. You say you want to build a successful business, but you spend your evenings watching television instead of learning the skills you need. You say you want to be in excellent physical condition, but you make excuses every time your alarm goes off early for exercise. You say you want meaningful relationships, but you avoid vulnerability and keep people at arm's length. You say you want financial freedom, but you refuse to make the sacrifices necessary to save, invest, and build wealth. You say you want to achieve greatness, but you surround yourself with people who mock ambition and celebrate mediocrity. This is not laziness. This is not lack of willpower. This is your subconscious mind protecting you from the discomfort of growth. This is your identity defending itself against the threat of change. Because change, even positive change, is threatening to the identity you have built. You have told yourself a story about who you are. You have repeated that story so many times that it feels like truth. And when you begin to act in ways that contradict that story, your mind sounds alarms. This isn't who I am, it whispers. This is uncomfortable. This is dangerous. Go back to what is familiar. And most people obey. They retreat. They return to the patterns that feel safe, even though those patterns guarantee continued frustration. But you are not most people, or you would not still be reading this. You are someone who senses that there is more available to you. You are someone who refuses to accept that your current circumstances define your potential. You are someone who is willing to confront the lies you have believed and replace them with truth. So let us confront those lies directly. Lie number 1: success is for other people, not for me. This lie is based on selective observation. You notice the people who have achieved what you want, and you focus on the ways they are different from you. You focus on their advantages, their talents, their lucky breaks. What you do not see is the years of effort they invested before anyone noticed them. You do not see the failures they endured and learned from. You do not see the countless moments when they chose discipline over comfort, action over hesitation, persistence over quitting. You see the result and assume it came easily. You see the trophy and miss the training. This lie keeps you passive. It gives you permission to not try fully, because you have already decided that success belongs to others. Reject this lie. Success is not a genetic trait. It is the result of specific thoughts, specific actions, and specific habits repeated consistently over time. What others have done, you can do, if you are willing to pay the price they paid. Lie number 2: I will feel confident after I succeed. This lie reverses the order of causation. It assumes that confidence is the result of success, when in fact, confident action is the cause of success. You will not feel certain after you achieve your goal. You must act with certainty before the evidence appears. This is the test. This is the price of entry. You must move forward as if success is inevitable, even when your bank account says otherwise. Even when people doubt you. even when circumstances seem stacked against you. You must act like victory is your natural state before victory becomes your lived reality. This is not delusion. This is faith. Faith is acting on a belief before you have proof. And faith, when combined with intelligent effort, creates the proof you seek. But most people wait for proof before they act with confidence. And because they wait, the proof never comes. Lie number 3, I need permission to claim what I want. This lie is the most insidious because it keeps you dependent on external validation. You wait for your boss to recognize your value before you ask for the raise. You wait for someone to invite you to the opportunity before you pursue it. You wait for conditions to be perfect before you take the first step. And while you wait, others who are less qualified but more decisive claim the prizes you were meant to have. You do not need permission. You need decision. You need commitment. You need the willingness to act without approval from people who have not achieved what you want to achieve. Understand this, the world does not reward the most talented. It rewards the most committed. It rewards those who decide, act, and persist regardless of external validation. If you wait for permission, you will wait forever. Because the gatekeepers of mediocrity do not want you to rise. Your success threatens their excuses. Your achievement exposes their laziness. They will not give you permission, because your victory forces them to confront their own failures. So stop asking. Stop waiting. Stop seeking validation from people who are living beneath their own potential. Give yourself permission. Decide that you are worthy. Decide that your goals are valid. Decide that you will act like victory is your natural state, regardless of who agrees with you. These lies have kept you trapped. These lies have stolen years of your life. These lies have turned potential into regret. But lies only have power when you believe them. The moment you see them for what they are, distortions created by fear and conditioning, they lose their grip on you. And in their place, you can install new beliefs. True beliefs. Empowering beliefs. You can choose to believe that success is available to you. That confidence precedes achievement. That you do not need permission to claim your destiny. But belief alone is not enough. Belief must be reinforced by action. You cannot think your way into a new identity. You must act your way into it. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you reinforce the identity of a disciplined person. Every time you speak with certainty instead of doubt, you reinforce the identity of a confident person. Every time you take action in the face of fear, you reinforce the identity of a courageous person. And over time, through the accumulation of thousands of small choices, you become the person you have been pretending to be. No, not pretending. Practicing. Because that is what acting like victory is your natural state truly means. It means practicing the thoughts, words, and behaviors of a successful person until they become automatic. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. It will feel like you are lying to yourself. Your old identity will resist. Your mind will offer you 1,000 reasons to return to familiar patterns. Ignore those reasons. They are not truth. They are echoes of past programming. Your job is to persist. To act as if. To move forward with faith. To behave like the person you are becoming, even when your current circumstances scream at you to give up. This is the path. This is the price. This is the difference between those who transform their lives and those who remain trapped in cycles of frustration. You have been acting like defeat is your natural state, and life has given you exactly what you projected. Now you will act like victory is your natural state, and life will give you a different result. But only if you commit. Only if you persist. Only if you refuse to return to the patterns that have kept you small. Now we arrive at the turning point. The place where knowledge becomes transformation. You understand the principle. You have confronted the lies that have held you back. Now you must adopt a completely new way of thinking. This new mindset is not optional. It is not a suggestion. It is the non-negotiable foundation of lasting success. The new mindset is this: I am the cause, not the effect. Most people live as effects. They react to circumstances. They blame conditions. They wait for life to happen to them, then complain when it does not happen the way they hoped. You must become a cause. You must take total responsibility for your results. You must recognize that everything in your life, the good and the bad, is there because of you. Not because of your circumstances. Not because of your past. Not because of other people. Because of you. Your thoughts created your beliefs. Your beliefs created your actions. Your actions created your results. If you do not like your results, you must change your actions. If you want to change your actions, you must change your beliefs. If you want to change your beliefs, you must change your thoughts. This is the chain of causation. And it begins in your mind. Now, listen carefully, because this is where most people stumble. Taking total responsibility does not mean blaming yourself for everything bad that has happened to you. It does not mean pretending that circumstances do not matter. It means recognizing that while you cannot control everything that happens to you, you can control how you respond. And your response determines your trajectory. Two people face the same setback. One person interprets it as proof that they are destined to fail. The other interprets it as feedback, adjusts their approach, and tries again. Same circumstance. Different response. Different outcome. The person who acts like victory is their natural state does not waste time blaming circumstances. They assess, adjust, and act. They do not say, "This is too hard." They say, "What do I need to learn to make this easier?" They do not say, "I don't have the resources." They say, "How can I acquire the resources I need?" They do not say, "People don't believe in me." They say, "I will prove them wrong through my results." This is the language of a cause. This is the mindset of someone who takes ownership. And ownership is power. When you blame circumstances, you give away your power. You declare yourself a victim. You announce that external forces control your destiny. When you take ownership, you reclaim your power. You declare yourself the architect. You announce that you will shape your destiny through the force of your decisions and actions. This shift, this single shift from effect to cause, changes everything. It changes how you wake up in the morning. Instead of dreading the day, you approach it as an opportunity to build the life you want. It changes how you handle obstacles. Instead of seeing them as reasons to quit, you see them as tests of your commitment. It changes how you relate to other people. Instead of seeking validation, you offer value. Instead of competing for scraps, you create abundance. It changes how you see yourself. Instead of identifying with your past failures, you identify with your future potential. This is the new mindset. This is the lens through which you must view every situation, every challenge, every opportunity. I am the cause, not the effect. But this mindset requires something that most people are unwilling to give: total responsibility. Total responsibility means you stop making excuses. You stop blaming your parents, your education, your circumstances, your bad luck. Yes, perhaps you were dealt a difficult hand. Perhaps life was unfair to you. Perhaps you started from a place of disadvantage. Acknowledge it. Then move on. Because dwelling on what you cannot change is the surest way to guarantee that nothing changes. You cannot control the past. You cannot control other people. You cannot control the economy, the weather, or the countless variables that influence your life. But you can control your attitude. You can control your effort. You can control your focus. You can control your decisions. And when you focus exclusively on what you can control, when you pour all your energy into the few things that are within your power, you discover that those few things are enough. They are enough to change your trajectory. Enough to open doors. Enough to create momentum. Enough to build a life that reflects your potential instead of your limitations. But you must give up the victim story. You must release the comfortable narrative that your struggles are someone else's fault. That narrative feels good in the short term. It relieves you of responsibility. It gives you someone to blame. It allows you to feel righteous in your suffering. But it destroys you in the long term. It keeps you powerless. It keeps you waiting for rescue. It keeps you small. The new mindset requires you to surrender that narrative and replace it with a more difficult but far more empowering story. I am responsible for my results, and therefore I have the power to change them. This is hard. This is uncomfortable. This requires emotional maturity that most people never develop. But this is the price of transformation. You cannot change what you do not own. If you believe your problems are caused by external forces, you will wait for external forces to solve them. And you will wait forever. But if you believe that your problems are the result of your past thoughts, beliefs, and actions, then you also believe that your future success will be the result of your new thoughts, new beliefs, and new actions. This is empowering. This is liberating. This is the foundation of every great achievement. Now, let me address another critical element of the new mindset: clarity of purpose. You cannot act like victory is your natural state if you do not know what victory means to you. Most people wander through life without clear goals. They react to opportunities instead of creating them. They drift instead of driving. This is not a strategy. This is abdication. You must define success on your own terms. You must decide what you want, why you want it, and what you are willing to sacrifice to get it. Not vague wishes. Specific targets. Not, I want to be successful. But, I will build a business that generates $1 million in revenue within 3 years. Not, I want to be healthy. But, I will lose 30 pounds and run a marathon within 12 months. Not, I want better relationships. But, I will invest 1 hour each day in meaningful conversation with the people I care about. Clarity creates power. Vagueness creates confusion. When you know exactly what you want, your mind can focus. Your decisions become easier. Your actions become aligned. Opportunities that match your goals suddenly appear because you are now looking for them. But if you remain vague, your mind has nothing to focus on. Your energy scatters. You pursue one thing today and something different tomorrow, never making real progress in any direction. So decide. Write down your goals. Make them specific, measurable, and time-bound. Then, and this is critical, organize your entire life around the achievement of those goals. Every decision you make must be filtered through this question: does this move me closer to my goal or further away? If it moves you closer, do it. If it moves you further away, eliminate it. This level of clarity and focus is rare. Most people do not have it. Most people are distracted by the trivial, the urgent, and the entertaining. But you are not most people. You are someone who understands that time is your most valuable resource. That focus is your greatest asset. That clarity is the difference between achievement and mediocrity. And when you combine clarity of purpose with total responsibility, when you know exactly what you want and you take ownership of making it happen, you become unstoppable. Not because you are lucky. Not because you are talented. But because you have aligned your mind, your emotions, and your actions with a clear target. This is the new mindset. I am the cause, not the effect. I take total responsibility for my results. I have absolute clarity about what I want. I organize my life around my goals. I persist regardless of obstacles. This mindset is not negotiable. Without it, you will continue to live reactively, bouncing from one distraction to another, making progress in nothing, wondering why life feels so hard. With it, you will move through life with purpose, power, and the quiet certainty that your success is inevitable. Now we move from philosophy to action. From understanding to implementation. Because knowledge without application is worthless. You can understand everything I have shared and still accomplish nothing if you do not act. So here are the specific, daily habits you must adopt to reinforce the identity of someone for whom victory is a natural state. These are not suggestions. These are commands. These are the non-negotiable disciplines that will transform your mind, strengthen your character, and produce the results you seek. First, begin every day with a declaration of identity. The moment you wake, before you check your phone, before you engage with the world, you must speak to yourself. Stand in front of a mirror if you can. Look yourself in the eye. And declare who you are. Not who you wish you were. Not who you hope to become someday. Who you are today. Say, I am disciplined. I am focused. I am capable. Victory is my natural state. I expect success because I do the work that produces success. Say it with conviction. Say it with certainty. Say it even if you do not fully believe it yet. Because repetition creates belief. And belief creates behavior. And behavior creates results. This is not affirmation for the sake of feeling good. This is programming your subconscious mind to accept a new identity. Your mind believes what you tell it repeatedly. If you tell it you are weak, it will make you weak. If you tell it you are powerful, it will make you powerful. So control the narrative. Take ownership of the story you tell yourself. Do this every single morning without exception. Make it as automatic as brushing your teeth. Over time, the words you speak will become the reality you live. Second, move your body with purpose. Your body and mind are not separate. They are connected by a feedback loop that runs constantly. When you move your body with energy and strength, your mind receives the message that you are powerful. When you slouch, shuffle, and move with weakness, your mind receives the message that you are defeated. You cannot feel victorious while carrying yourself like a victim. So stand tall. Walk with purpose. Move as if you own every room you enter. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. You are training your nervous system to associate your physical presence with confidence and power. Exercise daily. Not just for physical health, but for mental conditioning. When you push your body beyond comfort, when you complete a workout even though you wanted to quit, you prove to yourself that you can do hard things. You reinforce discipline. You build the mental toughness that translates to every area of life. The person who cannot discipline their body will never discipline their mind. The person who gives up on a workout will give up on their goals. But the person who shows up, day after day, regardless of how they feel, is training themselves to be relentless. And relentlessness is the defining characteristic of those who win. Third, control your language. Words are not neutral. Words shape reality. The language you use to describe yourself and your circumstances programs your subconscious mind and influences how others perceive you. If you speak words of doubt, you create doubt. If you speak words of certainty, you create certainty. From this moment forward, eliminate these phrases from your vocabulary. I can't. I'm not good at this. I'm just not that kind of person. That's too hard for me. I'll try. Replace them with these. I will find a way. I am learning this. I am becoming that kind of person. This is challenging, and I am capable of meeting the challenge. I will do this. The difference seems small. The impact is enormous. Because every time you speak words of limitation, you reinforce the identity of a limited person. Every time you speak words of power, you reinforce the identity of a powerful person. Your words create your world. Choose them carefully. And extend this principle to how you speak about your goals. Do not say, I'm trying to build a business. Say, I am building a business. Do not say, I hope to achieve this. Say, I am committed to achieving this. Do not say, maybe someday. Say, this is happening, and I am making it happen. Language reveals belief. Belief drives action. Action creates results. Control your language, and you control your destiny. Fourth, associate only with those who elevate you. Your environment shapes you more than you realize. If you surround yourself with people who complain, make excuses, and celebrate mediocrity, you will become like them. Not because you are weak, but because social influence is one of the most powerful forces in human behavior. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Look at those 5 people. Are they living the life you want? Are they demonstrating the discipline, focus, and commitment you aspire to? If not, you must change your circle. This does not mean abandoning people you care about. It means being intentional about who influences your thinking. Seek out people who challenge you to grow. People who are achieving what you want to achieve. People who hold higher standards than you currently hold. Spend time with them. Learn from them. Let their expectations become your new normal. And distance yourself from those who mock your ambitions, who try to pull you back to comfort, who tell you that your goals are unrealistic. These people are not your friends. They are anchors. They will drown your potential if you let them. You do not owe anyone access to your mind. You do not owe anyone your time and energy if they use it to drag you down. Protect your environment fiercely. Your success depends on it. Fifth, practice daily visualization. Every night before you sleep, spend 10 minutes visualizing your goals as already achieved. Do not visualize the process. Visualize the result. See yourself living in the body you are working toward. See yourself running the business you are building. See yourself enjoying the relationships you are creating. Feel the emotions of success. Experience the pride, the satisfaction, the certainty. This is not fantasy. This is mental rehearsal. This is training your mind to expect success, which changes how you act today. Athletes use this technique to improve performance. Surgeons use it to prepare for complex operations. You will use it to become the person capable of achieving your goals. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you visualize success repeatedly, your mind begins to treat it as familiar. And what is familiar feels achievable. Do this every night without fail. Make it the last thing you do before sleep, so your subconscious mind processes these images while you rest. Sixth, audit your daily actions ruthlessly. At the end of each day, ask yourself one question: did my actions today reflect the identity of someone for whom victory is a natural state? Be honest. Be specific. Did you do the hard work, or did you distract yourself with easy tasks? Did you make decisions based on your goals, or based on comfort? Did you speak with confidence, or with doubt? Did you move closer to your target, or did you drift? This daily audit is not about self-criticism. It is about self-awareness. You cannot improve what you do not measure. You cannot change patterns you do not acknowledge. So measure. Acknowledge. Adjust. If you find that you are consistently failing to act in alignment with your goals, you must change something. Your environment. Your schedule. Your habits. Your associations. But you cannot change what you do not confront. So confront yourself daily. Hold yourself to the standard you have set. This is not comfortable. This is not easy. But this is how champions are made. Seventh, commit to continuous learning. The person you are today is not equipped to achieve the goals you have set. If you were, you would have already achieved them. You must become someone new. Someone more skilled. Someone more knowledgeable. Someone more capable. This requires learning. Daily, deliberate, focused learning. Read books written by people who have achieved what you want to achieve. Listen to teachings that expand your thinking. Study the strategies, the mindsets, the habits of successful people. Invest in your education more than you invest in entertainment. Spend more time developing your mind than numbing it. Most people stop learning after formal education ends. They coast on what they already know. And they wonder why they stop growing. Do not be most people. Commit to becoming better every single day. Not dramatically better. Just slightly better. 1% improvement every day compounds into extraordinary results over time. Read for 30 minutes each morning. Listen to educational content during your commute. Attend seminars. Hire coaches. Join mastermind groups. Make learning a lifestyle, not an event. Because the person who stops learning stops growing. And the person who stops growing starts dying. These 7 habits are your foundation. They are the daily disciplines that will transform your identity and produce the results you seek. But they only work if you do them. Consistently. Without exception. Regardless of how you feel. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. Feelings change. Commitment does not. You will not always feel like doing these things. There will be days when you are tired, discouraged, overwhelmed. Days when the old patterns call to you like a siren song, promising comfort and ease. Ignore those calls. Do the work anyway. Because every time you act in alignment with your new identity, even when you do not feel like it, you strengthen that identity. You prove to yourself that you are serious. You build the unshakable foundation of lasting success. Do these things for 30 days straight, and they will become easier. Do them for 90 days, and they will become automatic. Do them for a year, and they will become who you are. And when they become who you are, when victory truly feels like your natural state, you will look back at your old life and barely recognize the person you used to be. That person waited for permission. You take initiative. That person doubted their worthiness. You claim your power. That person reacted to life. You create your life. This is the transformation that awaits you. But only if you do the work. We have reached the end of this teaching. But this is not the end of your journey. This is the beginning. You now have knowledge. You now have a blueprint. You now have no excuse. The only question that remains is this: will you act? Will you take what you have learned here and apply it with absolute consistency, or will you let this moment pass like 1,000 moments before, filled with good intentions that dissolve into inaction? Because here is the truth, and it is a truth you must accept with total clarity: nothing changes if you don't change. Your circumstances will not change. Your results will not change. Your life will not change. Not because change is impossible, but because you are the source of everything in your life. You are the cause. If you continue to think the same thoughts, hold the same beliefs, speak the same words, and take the same actions, you will continue to get the same results. There is no magic solution. There is no shortcut. There is no secret technique that will transform your life while you remain the same person. The transformation must happen within you first. Then, and only then, will the external transformation follow. You must act like victory is your natural state before it becomes your natural state. You must carry yourself with confidence before you have evidence to support that confidence. You must speak with certainty before your circumstances reflect that certainty. You must make decisions like a successful person before you have achieved success. This is the test. This is the price. This is the requirement. And most people will not pay it. Most people will listen to this message, feel inspired for a moment, then return to their old patterns within hours. They will justify it. They will rationalize it. They will tell themselves that they will start tomorrow, next week, next month. But tomorrow never comes for those who refuse to act today. So I am asking you, directly and without apology, are you most people, or are you different? Are you someone who consumes information for entertainment, or are you someone who applies knowledge for transformation? Are you someone who talks about change, or are you someone who becomes change? The answer to these questions will determine the trajectory of your entire life. If you are most people, you will close this video and nothing will shift. You will return to your routines. You will complain about your circumstances. You will wonder why life is so hard while refusing to do what is necessary to make it easier. But if you are different, if you are someone who recognizes that this moment is a gift, an opportunity, a turning point, then you will act immediately. You will not wait to feel ready. You will not wait for perfect conditions. You will not wait for permission or validation. You will decide, right now, that victory is your natural state. And you will begin to act accordingly. You will implement the 7 daily habits we discussed. You will control your language. You will audit your actions. You will surround yourself with people who elevate you. You will commit to continuous learning. You will do these things not because they are easy, but because they are necessary. You will do these things not when you feel like it, but especially when you do not feel like it. You will do these things because you understand that your future is not determined by your circumstances, but by your daily decisions. And when you commit to this path, when you refuse to waver, when you persist through the discomfort and the doubt and the inevitable setbacks, something extraordinary will happen. You will begin to notice small shifts. A little more confidence in your voice. A little more clarity in your thinking. A little more energy in your body. These shifts will compound. They will build upon each other. They will create momentum. And momentum, once established, becomes almost unstoppable. People will begin to treat you differently. Opportunities will present themselves. Doors will open. Not because you got lucky, but because you changed. And when you changed, everything around you changed in response. This is not theory. This is not motivational fantasy. This is the predictable, inevitable result of aligning your identity with your goals and acting with unwavering consistency. But you must start. You must commit. You must act. Your potential is limitless, but it is also dormant. It will remain dormant until you activate it through decision and action. No one is coming to activate it for you. No one is coming to rescue you from mediocrity. No one is coming to hand you the life you want. You must claim it. You must build it. You must fight for it every single day. And the fight begins in your mind. It begins with the decision to reject the old identity and embrace the new one. I am the cause, not the effect. I take total responsibility for my results. I act like victory is my natural state. Say these words. Believe these words. Live these words. Make them the foundation of your existence. Make them the lens through which you view every challenge, every opportunity, every moment. And when you do, when you commit fully to this new way of being, you will discover something profound. You were always capable of this. The power was always within you. The potential was always there. You simply needed to claim it. You needed to stop waiting for permission and start taking ownership. You needed to stop acting like a victim and start acting like the architect of your destiny. You needed to stop living reactively and start living intentionally. And now you know. Now you have the blueprint. Now you have no excuse. So I ask you one final time, will you act? Will you make today the day your life changed? Will you look back years from now and recognize this as the moment you stopped settling and started rising? Or will you let this moment pass, returning to comfort, returning to the familiar patterns that have kept you small? The choice is yours. It has always been yours. But understand this, choosing not to decide is still a decision. Choosing not to act is still an action. And both lead to the same result, continued mediocrity. You deserve more than that. You were built for more than that. You are capable of more than that. So claim it. Act on it. Become it. Act like victory is your natural state, and watch as reality bends to reflect that truth. Your time is now. Your moment is here. Your destiny is waiting. Do not let it wait any longer. Go.